Hello and welcome to today's webinar. Today we want to discover how Better Cotton's chain of custody audits safeguard sustainability claims by ensuring full traceability and integrity from farms to finished fabrics. We also want to discuss the key requirements, supply chain models and best practices that help brands and suppliers turn sustainability commitments into verified results. My name is Karin Ekberg, and I'm the CEO of Leadership and Sustainability. I have a long experience in the sustainability area, and I have worked at Adidas, among others, where I was responsible for environment globally, and before that in a company with around 80 owned manufacturing sites, where I had the privilege to support the factories in improving their sustainability performance. And here with me today is Julia.
Yes, thank you, Karen, for this short introduction. Hello also from my side. Nice to meet you all today. I am Julia Wolf, and I'm a sustainability manager at Leadership and Sustainability. Currently, I'm co-leading our supply chain team, so our local teams in different countries, and overseeing our global verification and audit activities. So my focus is basically on managing sustainability audits, overseeing training processes, and supporting both our clients and our internal team in delivering high quality supply chain work. And today I am very happy to walk you through the Better Cotton chain of custody program requirements later on and support you with any related questions.
Thank you so much, Julia. Just some basics about the Zoom webinar platform. First, I would like to mention that the audience will be muted during the webinar in order to ensure best audio quality. And if the group size allows, we may also unmute you for a better discussion. Anyway, please feel free to send us your questions during the presentation via the question function. And on the right-hand side, you can see a screenshot of the question function. And here you can find the button to open the Q&A window, where you can type in your question and then send it to us. Maybe it's good to know for you that we will provide you a link to download the presentation in a follow-up email. For the agenda today, let's have a look here. So we will be introducing you to the Better Cotton program. We will also be talking about the Better Cotton chain of custody standard. And then we will be talking in detail about the different assessment requirements according to the standard version 1.0, the management system, purchasing, storage, production, sales and goods out, and volume reconciliation. And after that, we will cover the audit process, and then we have a few slides about leadership and sustainability, and then we will open up for questions. So please prepare your questions already now. You can begin sending them already now through our channel. So let's start with an introduction to the Better Cotton program. The Better Cotton program is the largest cotton sustainability initiative in the world. It is dedicated to help cotton growing communities not just to survive, but flourish while safeguarding and restoring the environment. Working with a vast network of field partners, Better Cotton has supported and trained more than 2.5 million farmers around 25 countries in practices that are better for people and for the planet. And today, 1 in every 5 cotton bales globally is grown to the Better Cotton standard. And this is the result of a united movement, bringing together farmers, textile producers, brands, and retailers to transform the cotton sector and create lasting change from field to fashion. When I joined Adidas at the beginning of 2009, this project was actually in a pilot stage. One had conducted a few smaller pilots, and at that time, IKEA was engaged, H&M was engaged, Levi's, and of course also Adidas. And at that time, the big question was, how could we drive scale? How can we scale up this program? And how can we finance that scale up? And anyway, it took quite a long time to find out how to finance the better cotton growth. Then now we are more or less 15 years later, and the better cotton has grown to more than 20% of the total cotton production. So actually 22% to be exact. So that's quite an achievement, I would say. And let's have a look at the better cotton principles. Management is the first better cotton principle. And this means that cotton farming households use integrated management systems that promote continuous improvement, transparency, inclusivity, and consider gender equality and climate action in decision making. Natural resources as one principle means that communities adopt regenerative farming practices to improve soil health, protect biodiversity, manage water responsibly, boost yields, and enhance also climate resilience. And crop protection, which means that farmers minimize the harmful impact of crop protection by using integrated pest management, phasing out hazardous pesticides, and ensuring safe handling of chemicals. Fiber quality. Farmers preserve fiber quality through good practices from seed selection to harvest, reducing contamination and increasing crop value. Then we have decent work. Cotton farming communities ensure fair, safe, and respectful working conditions, preventing child and forced labor and promoting equal opportunities. Sustainable livelihoods. Communities strengthen livelihoods and resilience, particularly for women and youth, to lead decent and secure lives. And you can see those on the right-hand side. Here we have also cross-cutting priorities. We have climate change mitigation and adaptation. Farming communities adopt practices that build resilience to climate change and reduce farming's environmental impact. And we have gender equality, where communities work toward gender equality by increasing women's participation and recognition in farm activities. And by following these principles, better cotton farmers produce cotton in a way that is better for themselves, their communities, and the environment. So coming to the better cotton standard system, this is a holistic approach to sustainable farming, which covers all three pillars of sustainability: environment, social, and economic. And on the right-hand side, you see an overview of the better cotton standard system. Today, we will have a look at the chain of custody. So the chain of custody standard, the better cotton chain of custody standard is a system to track better cotton as it moves through the supply chain. And this includes supply stakeholders such as ginners, spinners, fabric mills, manufacturers, and retailers. And the standards set auditable requirements for organizations that buy, sell, process, or handle better cotton, and ensures a clear and documented connection between the cotton purchased and the cotton claimed. That supply chain actors are accountable and follow verified practices, and the claims made on better cotton products are based on real data and traceability. And the benefits of the better cotton chain of custody audits include, for example, it caters for increased sustainability awareness, including biodiversity. And as you know, biodiversity has become a very hot topic over the past years and has an increased coverage and focus. Adapt to digitized traceability systems as required by brands. Validate that a facility is correctly tracking, recording, and reporting the volume of better cotton. And upcoming legislation requires companies to have validated green claims. So why are these audits necessary? Well, with the help of these audits, it's possible to verify that all supply chain actors have met the indicators of the better cotton principles and criteria before they achieve better cotton certification. To support all supply chain actors in identifying both areas that are going well and areas for improvement. To identify and grade any non-conformances, And finally, also ensuring an effective third-party certification decision-making, which enhances the credibility and scalability of Better Cotton certification scheme. And now let me talk also about the transition from the version 1.0 of the chain of custody standard to the version 1.1. So the version 1.0 of the standard is focused on establishing the initial chain of custody requirements for suppliers in the cotton supply chain. It has defined the framework for sourcing both mass balance and physical better cotton. It has provided guidance on implementing the chain of custody models and allowed for a transition period until the end of May 2025. And on the other hand, the new standard, the version 1.1, introduced specific chain of custody requirements for retailers and brand members. It enabled those members to become certified and use the Better Cotton label on products. It requires supply chain organizations, excluding retailer and brand members, to be audited against the version 1.1 from January 2026. It offers 3 new physical chain of custody models in addition to mass balance, and Julia will talk more about that a bit later. It also includes harmonized and expanded management system requirements, and it maintains the focus on normative requirements for suppliers with guidance documents. And the timelines, well, the onboarding phase, it happened between December 2024 and January 2025, while preparing organizations for certification. And in February 2025, the certification began for new supply chain organizations. In April 2025, the first producers and brands started their certification process, followed by the first ginners from July 2025. And by end of 2025, all producers will be certified. And in January 2026, the chain of custody version 1.1 will go live for the rest of the supply chain. Onboarded supply chain organizations will be certified by end of September 2025, and all ginners will be fully certified by 2026. This staged approach ensures a smooth, transparent, and effective transition to the updated Better Cotton certification system across the entire supply chain. So currently, the chain of custody version 1.1 is only applicable for brands in this year for the 2025 year. For the rest of 2025, everyone else who is not a brand, ginners, suppliers, traders, etc., they will get certified against the chain of custody standard version 1.0 to allow to them a period of transitions. And only brands will get certified against the version 1.1 for the moment. And from January 2026, all audits will be conducted against the chain of custody version 1.1. And here I will hand over to Julia, who will talk about the Better Cotton chain of custody standard version 1.0 in more detail.
Yes, thank you, Karen, for this comprehensive introduction. As you just heard, some of the supply chain organizations can still get certified against the Better Cotton chain of custody standard version 1.0 until the end of 2025. So that's why we are still covering the standard requirements version 1.0 in today's webinar. Yeah, but I'm sure that we will also host another webinar, information webinar, to share the standard version 1.1 details later this year, as it becomes relevant for all supply chain organizations, and just to make sure that everyone can prepare effectively. And yeah, but today still the standard version 1.0 details. And yeah, we will just walk you through the set of requirements that ensure the credibility of Better Cotton as it moves through the supply chain. So let's Yeah, I will first present some basics to you before I will go through all details for the management system requirements, the purchasing material, receipt, storage, and production requirements. Afterwards, I will speak about the the sales and goods out requirements. And finally, I will also speak about the volume reconciliation requirements. So first of all, of course, it is important to know who the standard applies to. So the chain of custody standard generally applies globally to all actors buying or selling physical better cotton or handling mass balance orders, including outsourced activities. And as Karen already mentioned or told you, it covers ginners, traders, mills, manufacturers, sourcing agents, retailers, and brands with manufacturing. Yeah, and please note that byproducts and reusable waste cannot carry better cotton claims. So those kind of applications may be rejected, but of course, appeals are possible and exceptions may be allowed in special cases, but in general, it applies to the better cotton virgin products or virgin materials. Next, the chain of custody model definitions. I assume many of you already heard about those models, but just to give a holistic overview, there are currently 4 chain of custody model definitions or models under the Better Cotton system, offering basically offering flexibility depending on the business setup. And first of all, there is the mass balance model. Then there is the controlled blending model. And then there are 2 segregation models. The first one is the multi-country model, and the second one is the single country model. And everyone who did not yet hear about those models, don't worry, I will explain the details of those models on the next slide. Just to mention that the 3 last mentioned models are considered physical better cotton. And for physical better cotton, certification is mandatory for all GINNES and supply chain organizations. While for retailers and brands, certification is only required if the content label is used. Then as promised, here are my explanations of what the different chain of custody models look like. First of all, we will speak about the mass balance model. So this is an accounting method for better cotton supply chain, and it uses better cotton claim units, so-called BCCUs, to track sustainability claims. And those so-called BCCUs can be administratively moved between cotton containing products at the site. And there's a rule which says that the BCCU sold may not or must not exceed the BCCUs purchased. This is very, very important to consider. And finally, this model ensures that claims match actual better cotton input across the supply chain. And as this sounds a bit theoretical, I also included an example for you. So let's assume that textile mill bought 500 kilograms of better cotton with the BCCU unit or in BCC units. And during the processing of this material, for example, during spinning, 10% of the cotton weight is lost. So the 500, the initial weight of 500 kilograms reduces to 450 kilograms of material. This equals a conversion rate of 90%. So now the mill has 450 kilograms worth of BCCUs available. And from this material, the mill can make t-shirts from any mix of cotton, so both from better cotton and from conventional cotton, but it can only attach BCCUs to t-shirts totaling up to 450 kilograms of cotton content. So this means even if the physical cotton is mixed, the claims can't exceed what was bought and processed. And then coming to the physical better cotton models. So first of all, the controlled blending model. This, for example, means that a t-shirt is made of 50% better cotton that was sourced or that is sourced from India and, for example, 50% of conventional cotton. So this model allows mixing of physical better cotton with non-better cotton material in one production batch. Also, a claim is made as a percentage of physical better cotton in the batch. And non-better cotton includes, for example, cotton, recycled cotton, regenerative cotton, organic cotton also, or in conversion cotton. The next model is called, or is the first segregation model. We will first have a look at the multi-country model, and here the t-shirt needs to be made of 100% better cotton material, but it doesn't matter where the better cotton material comes from. So you can add 50% of better cotton that was sourced from Vietnam and 50% better cotton that comes from India, for example. But in general, and this is strict separation. There's a strict separation of physical better cotton and non-better cotton. The mixing or substitution is not allowed. And of course, this model applies throughout the entire supply chain. Yes, and this model is used when physical better cotton comes from more than one country. So yeah, it keeps better cotton different from origins, physically distinct. Or it keeps cotton from different origins physically distinct at all times. Yeah, and then coming to the last model, the single country segregation. Here, the t-shirt needs to be made of 100% better cotton. And this time, the material can only be sourced from one country. So here, for example, the material needs to be 100% better cotton sourced from Vietnam. We cannot mix it with better cotton sourced from another country. So, as I already said, no mixing or substitution is allowed, and physical better cotton from one country must stay separate from non-better cotton from any origin or better cotton from other countries. And here as well, separation applies throughout the whole supply chain. Then coming to the Better Cotton platform, I assume that most of you know the Better Cotton platform. The Better Cotton Platform, also called BCP, is basically the core system that tracks every transaction involving Better Cotton across the supply chain, and it ensures full traceability from raw material, from raw cotton to the finished products. So the platform automatically calculates conversion factors for each processing step and checks that these fall within expected ranges, helping maintain accuracy and consistency. So yeah, this is a very central and an essential part also for the certification audit, which is then conducted at your facility or at your place. Yeah, as during a chain of custody certification audit, this data stored on the BCP, Better Cotton platform, is really essential as the auditor relies on it to verify that companies are correctly following the chain of custody requirements. And yeah, this is basically the main source to yeah, verify that you're following the requirements. Ultimately, this system supports transparent and trustworthy better cotton claims, and it reinforces the integrity of the entire program. Yeah, let's now come to the management system requirements. So first of all, your management or leadership must formally support chain of custody adherence and set up a fit-for-purpose system. Then you need to assign accountable staff and ensure all relevant team members are properly trained, especially the Better Cotton platform users. And you are also expected to maintain reliable documentation of all chain of custody related activities for a minimum of 2 years. And you also need to put in place clear steps to handle issues and non-compliant products. This is, I think, also a very central aspect. And for third-party processing, please always inform Better Cotton, stay in control of goods, and train your subcontractors accordingly. And finally, you need to perform a yearly self-assessment and a management review to ensure ongoing compliance. Then let's speak about the third, or actually the second requirement, the purchasing, material receipt, storage, and production part. Yeah, so you need to keep supply information and all Better Cotton platform records always up to date and accurate, as I already mentioned. Please always segregate Better Cotton during storage and production to avoid mixing. So this can be done by color coding or adding barcodes. So there are different options you can consider. Yeah, also Ginners must keep detailed records like weight slips and farmer receipts. And please also make sure that Better Cotton is clearly identified with separation or labeling. Yes, the next requirement, this is sales and goods out. For every Better Cotton sale, please provide documents with customer and supplier information, also product details, quantity, and delivery date should be available. And please also include invoices, transport documents, and the chain of custody model that is used. And always please note that all claims must follow the Better Cotton Claims Framework. And I think that framework is available online. So just you can just search for it on the Better Cotton website. Yeah, last but not least, the volume reconciliation requirement. you need to keep accurate input and output records at each site and make sure that all sites are listed in the Better Cotton platform. Also, you need to submit annual volume summaries that include inventory and waste. And you also need to record actual production volumes in the Better Cotton platform. Yeah, as I already said, the Better Cotton platform is really a central part of the whole Better Cotton chain of custody, audit, and assessment. Next, you need to investigate any conversion factor deviations if requested, and you need to use Better Cotton standard conversion factors for mass balance orders. Yes, that was all about the standard requirements. And I think you are also interested in the actual audit process, how it looks like. And yeah, that's why we also have a deeper look at the actual audit process from A to Z, basically. So on this slide, you can see a comprehensive overview of each and every step that needs to be taken in order to receive a Better Cotton Chain of Custody certificate. So first it starts with making sure that your organization is ready for certification. Also from our side, from the certification body perspective, we need to check certain eligibility criteria before we can proceed with proposal or the actual audit. So, and just makes things more efficient if you also check that from your side before initiating the audit request. Yeah, once that is all checked, you can select a certification body to work with, and then you will certainly be asked for certain information. So the certification body can prepare a proposal. We at Leadership and Sustainability always send to you a booking form that requests, as I said, certain information that we need in order to define the scope of the actual audit. And yeah, based on that, we will send a proposal. Once you agree to that proposal, you need to sign a contract with us or with the relevant certification body. And once that is all set, the certification body will prepare and forward an audit plan to you. So you are also informed about the details of the on-site visit and all pre and post-audit steps. Before the audit, we recommend a pre-audit document review, as this makes the process on-site just more efficient. The auditor can look at the context-specific information in detail and prepare for the interviews and the check on site in more detail, which just makes the accuracy and reliability of the assessment, which just enhances it. Afterwards, the audit will be conducted to assess the compliance. And based on the audit, a decision will be made on permission to trade or the certification. And if needed, a corrective action plan needs to be developed and implemented. In any case, an audit report will be prepared detailing the findings. So if there are any findings, there are certain timelines within which the actions need to be implemented, and in any case, an audit report will be prepared detailing your strengths and weaknesses, and if a cap is involved, the evidence of correction will be verified before a certification decision is made. and ongoing monitoring will be established also from our side. And yeah, finally, once that is all set and ready, a decision or a certification decision will be made. And if the certification decision is positive, you will receive your Better Cotton Chain of Custody certificate. Yes, then let's have a more detailed look at the components of the audit. So before the audit, you will be in close communication or collaboration with the audit company to schedule and prepare the audit. And there will also be consultation with local sources to prepare for the audit and inform the assessment process in a way that reflects local realities and risks. During the on-site visit, there will be an opening meeting, including management interviews. The auditor will do a document review and also conduct worker interviews. And one other part of the audit process is the visual inspection. So, yeah, the auditor will just walk, or you will walk the auditor through your facility or your buildings, your production processes, and yeah, also finally on site there will be a closing meeting already highlighting your best practices, your strengths and weaknesses as well. And yeah, once the audit visit is completed, there will be yeah, further analysis and the reporting as I already mentioned. During an on-site visit, it will, for example, be checked that the management plan clearly defines responsibilities and processes. Then it will be checked that documented procedures for complaints, product handling, and segregation are in place. Also, it will be checked that staff and workers have the necessary competence and understanding of the chain of custody requirements or the chain of custody and critical control points. Also, it will be checked that training records of staff and workers are properly maintained and up to date. Yeah, then another point is the processing records, such as volume reports, invoices, and sales receipts. It will be checked that they are accurate. Also regarding traceability and segregation systems, it will be checked that they are in place and effective. Yeah, and then also regarding contracts and with subcontractors, it will be checked that they are relevant and well managed. And finally, for example, it will be checked that the Better Cotton platform transaction information, including inventory and transaction documents, is complete and accurate. Yeah, and then the last slide from my side, here you can see what an actual certification cycle under the Better Cotton chain of custody standard looks like. So you see this is a 3 years certification cycle. In year 0, an on-site certification is required, while in year 1 and 2, a self-assessment is sufficient. Yeah, the self-assessment will certainly be checked and assessed, but there will certainly not be an on-site audit. While then in year 3, yeah, the recertification is due, which also includes an on-site visit again. Yes, and that's all from my side. Now I'm handing back to Karen.
Thanks so much, Julia. Wonderful. Let me just give you a brief introduction to leadership and sustainability as well. So on this slide, you can see where we have our team members. These are the green dots. And above them, in some cases, or on top of them, you can see some yellow dots. And that is where we have teams who can now conduct better cotton audits. We are in the process of adding team members in India and China as well. So you will hear more about that later. So please feel free to contact us if you are interested in the audit process or would like to learn more about it. So leadership and sustainability, and we are actually celebrating 10 years this year. We are a team of 80 plus consultants and auditors and service providers, and we have a really global setup. We are based in Germany, but we have legal entities in Bangladesh, in India, in Turkey, and in Vietnam. And we have teams in Pakistan, in China, in Cambodia, in Tunisia, in Portugal, and in some other places as well. So we can support you nearly everywhere you are and with many other services. So for example, the Cascade services, the HIG-FEM and the SLCP verifications, the corresponding trainings and many other services. And just to also show you how we separate our different services, we have on the one hand side strategy services where we work with brands and retailers, but also with manufacturers on developing their sustainability strategies, double materiality assessments, etc. And then we have our supply chain services where we are managing all the different projects we have related to the supply chain. And with that, I would like to lead over to our question and discussion, and let's have a look if we have any questions there. Thanks so much for those questions. And with that, we will be closing. Please feel free to contact us. We thank you so much for joining this webinar and wish you a really, really nice day. Bye-bye.